such a Pay no attention to that. Okay, I have not sat down here on my floor to film in so long. I forgot how painful it is. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And I just can't hide it. Okay, stop it. Calm down. Calm down. Well, hey guys. So I just got a package. I am so excited because I decided to buy a whole lot of like classic horror novels because I don't read horror really. I don't read like scary stuff. I don't really watch scary movies. Like the scariest thing I've ever watched is like The Haunted Mansion. I'm not a big scary movie fan. I've never really read like horror novels before, and I figured I would love to kind of read some horror and see if I can get spooked. I don't know if any of these are actually classed as, are they horror? Are they? I don't really know, but I thought I want to kind of read some maybe kind of classic horror scary stuff just because it's October, it's Halloween. Halloween has not been cancelled this year. No, it's not. I won't let that happen. So I figured this October I was going to read as many kind of scary-ish, horror-ish novels. So my package arrived today. I've got 12 books in total. Half of those are sort of classic novels. The others are just kind of random ones that I picked up at a cheap price. So I will start off with the boring part, which is just a notebook that I picked up. I keep a journal. I've been keeping a journal like every day for about 7-8 years now, where I just kind of like write about my day. I always think that in years to come I'm going to enjoy looking back over these books, but really all I'm going to see is me writing about how I did absolutely nothing all day. But I picked up this notebook which says, "Don't count the days, make the days count." I thought it was quite pretty. I thought it was cute. I like it. So that was the first thing that I bought. So I bought this off from The Works. The Works is like the best place to buy books from because they're so cheap. They don't have everything. They don't have like everything. If you're looking for something specifically, chances are they won't have it. But they have a lot. What is that banging? They have a lot of really, really cheap books, mostly like thrillers and that. So I went through like their list. They do like a 3 for £5 section. So I was going a little bit mental with those. So the first book that I bought is Stay Close by Harlan Coben. I recently watched The Stranger on Netflix and I'm pretty sure it was based on a book by this author, and I love The Stranger so much. I was wanting to get the book and I was debating getting the book and reading it, but I thought, ugh, is there any point, because I already know how the show ended, so it probably doesn't really matter. But I picked up this by Harlan Coben. I'll read the back to you. A suburban wife and mother of two with a dark and dangerous past. A promising photographer who now panders to celebrity-obsessed rich kids. A detective who can't let go of a cold case. 3 ordinary people who discover that when the past refuses to stay buried, the American dream can be a nightmare. I thought, ooh, that sounds interesting. I do love like a thriller. And then I picked up another book by the same author called The Woods that I thought sounded quite interesting. 20 years ago, 4 teenagers disappeared in the woods at a summer camp. 2 decades later, everything changes. Paul Copeland's sister was one of the missing teenagers. Now raising a daughter alone after the death of his wife, he balances family life with a career as a prosecutor. But when a body is found, the well-buried secrets of the past threaten everything. Could the victim be one of the missing teenagers? Could his sister be alive? Copeland has to confront so much he left behind that summer 20 years ago. His first love, Lucy, his mother who abandoned the family, and the secrets that his parents have been hiding. I thought it sounded pretty interesting. We'll see how those go. Next up we have another thriller, I think, called In a Cottage in a Wood by Cass Green. A strange encounter, an unexpected gift, a twisted secret. Neve comes across a troubled woman called Isabel on Waterloo Bridge late one night. Isabel forces a parcel into Neve's hand and jumps to her death in the icy Thames below. 2 weeks later, as Neve's wreck of a life in London collapses, an unexpected lifeline falls into her lap, a charming cottage in Cornwall left to her by Isabel, the woman on the bridge, the solution to all of her problems. But when Neve arrives, alone in the dark woods late one night, she finds a sinister-looking bungalow with bars across its windows, and her dream home quickly becomes her worst nightmare. A house hiding a twisted secret that will change her life forever. I thought it sounded quite interesting. I love these kind of novels. I'm really excited to read that. Most of these are just all like mysteries and thrillers because they're my favourite types of books to read. Then we have another book that I've been wanting to read for a while, and that is The Holiday by T.M. Logan. It was supposed to be the perfect holiday. 4 best friends and their husbands and children in a luxurious villa under the blazing sun of Provence. But there is trouble in paradise. Kate suspects that her husband is having an affair and that the other woman is one of her best friends. One of these women is willing to sacrifice years of friendship and destroy her family, but which one? As Kate closes in on the truth, she realises too late that the stakes are far higher than she ever imagined, because someone in the villa is prepared to kill to keep their secrets hidden. I've been wanting to read this one for a while and I'm so glad I finally picked it up. Then we have, now this book I'm pretty sure is part of a series. Who is vacuuming when I'm filming? I'm pretty sure it's part of a series, but I'm kind of hoping that it's one of those situations where you can read different books and it won't matter too much. Why does my hair look so wild? And it is called Murder in the Afternoon by Frances Brodie, a Kate Shackleton mystery. I get it's a bit kind of maybe like Miss Marple, so I'm assuming that like it's like a detective series, but with like a lead character like Mrs. Is it Mrs. Marple or Miss Marple? Mrs. Marple. Dead one minute, alive the next. A sinister disappearing act. Young Harriet and her brother Austin have always been scared of the quarry where their stonemason father works. So when they find him dead on the cold ground, they scarper quick smart and look for some help. When help arrives, the quarry is deserted and there is no sign of the body. Were the children mistaken? Is their father not dead? Did he simply get up and run away? It seems like another unusual case requiring the expertise of Kate Shackleton, but for Kate, this is one case where surprising family ties makes it her most dangerous and delicate yet. So although it is part of like a kind of like a series, a mystery series, I feel like it'll probably be okay, where like you can literally read any book in like the Miss Marple or like Poirot series because they're all like independent stories. So I'm hoping that that's going to be the case and it'll be okay. So yeah. I also love this cover. Look at that. That's so beautiful. I love purple. I've got banging to my right and a vacuum behind me. I swear. People are testing me on this day. And finally, the last book from my 3 for £5 section, I bought 6, is Half a World Away by Mike Gale. I think I've seen this book cropping up quite a lot and I didn't really know what it was about, but I quite liked the cover, so I just decided to get it. Strangers living worlds apart, but it wasn't always that way. Carrie Hayes is a single mum living on a tough South London estate. She provides for her son by cleaning houses she could never afford. Taking into care as a child, Carrie cannot forget her past. Oh my god, I'm never going to be able to pronounce this character's last name. Noah Martin... What? Noah Martin... Oh god, that's going to be an issue. Is a successful barrister with a beautiful wife, daughter, and home in fashionable Primrose Hill. Adopted as a young child, Noah never looks back. When Carrie contacts Noah, the sibling she lost on the day they were torn apart as children, she sets in motion a chain of events that will change both of their lives forever. It sounds interesting. I'm definitely going to struggle with that character's last name because I can't pronounce it. But it sounds pretty interesting. It sounds quite good. So next we are moving on to the classic section. These are all actually relatively quite thin, so I'm quite pleased because I feel like it won't take me too long to read these. I'll start at the top and I'll work my way down. So first up is Classic Tales of Horror by Edgar Allan Poe. I have absolutely no idea what any of these are about, and after last month I read a collection of short stories. I didn't do well with it. I'm hoping I'm going to get on better with this one. Not for those of a nervous disposition, this chilling collection contains some of Edgar Allan Poe's best known stories. Themes of guilt, fear and revenge abound as the master of gothic horror transports readers into mysterious worlds, carries them on dangerous sea voyages, and investigates gruesome murders in tales such as The Black Cat, The Pit and The Pendulum. Explore the hidden depths of the human mind. These are tales full of thrills and intrigue. Not for those of a nervous disposition. That is me. I'm going to be scared out by this. Okay. Next up we have Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and Other Strange Tales by Robert Louis Stevens. Is it Louis or Lewis? I always pronounce that as Louis, but I'm Might be Lewis. Stevenson. Victorian London is the setting of the strange case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Stevenson's famous story of conflict between dual personalities, one good and one ruthlessly evil. Other eerie tales in this volume are The Body Snatcher, inspired by the case of Burke and Hare. I remember Burke and Hare. We learned about that at school. Up the close and down the stairs, da da da, we Burke and Hare. Burke's the butcher, Hare's the thief, Locke's the boy who buys the beef. Hurry down the castle and look before and look behind. There they something to tack your life to sell you for the something knife. What was that? I'm gonna have to Google that. Okay, so I mean these all sound pretty spooky again. Another, like they're both pretty short, so I feel like I could probably read these at a pretty quick pace. Excellent. Another little small one here is The Turn of the Screw by Henry James. I had absolutely no idea what this was. I heard of it and I was like, oh, is this The Taming of the Shrew? Dumbass. Oh, when I first saw it, that's generally what I thought it was, but no. The Turn of the Screw. A young governess is employed to look after two enchantingly beautiful orphans. Striving to protect the children, she becomes obsessed with the idea that they are in danger, and her good intentions cause more harm than good. Uneasy and sinister, this novella shows a woman haunted by an eerie and evil presence that emerges from the terrors of real life. Interesting. Then I picked up Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Never read this before. Don't think I've ever even properly watched like any adaptations of it. So I'm going into this one blind. In an attempt to create a perfect new being, scientist Victor Frankenstein secretly assembles a collection of body parts and activates it with an electrical charge. I've seen Frankenweenie. The result is horrifying, even to his maker, and is never named. The hideous creature escapes the laboratory and searches in vain for friendship. Despairing, he returns to Frankenstein and demands a partner as his right to happiness. But when Victor destroys her before she is completed, the monster vows vengeance on everything he holds dear. Widely regarded as the first proper science fiction novel, Frankenstein provided the inspiration for a whole genre of horror stories and later films. Good on you, Mary Shelley. Wake up, legs, wake up! Am I gonna end up like on the... How exciting. I look forward to reading this. And another short one. These are all pretty short. I paid £3 each for all of these, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that. Next up, we have The Phantom of the Opera. I have been in love with the movie and the musical for forever. I love the soundtrack and I didn't even know it was a book. In Paris, terror stalks the Opera Garnier. Do I look ridiculous that way down here? My legs are just asleep. Stories of a terrifying ghost haunting the theatre create panic amongst the musicians and audience, but the ghost is no supernatural phenomenon. But a living, deformed man, Eric, who is hopelessly in love with a promising singer, the beautiful Christine Daae. When her childhood friend Raoul begins courting her, Eric erupts in jealousy, and soon the ghost becomes violent and reckless. Combining the atmospheric character of gothic horror with a tale of ill-fated romance, The Phantom of the Opera has been loved by readers worldwide since its first publication in 1925. Not so much a horror, but still a little. So I'm excited. And then finally, the last book, which is actually, it's a chunk. It is a fair sizable book compared to all the rest, and that is The Woman in White. I absolutely knew nothing about it. Look at this. Look at the difference between some of these. I didn't know anything about this going into it, but as I was scrolling through all the different books, I thought, okay, this sounds interesting. On a moonlit road in Hampstead, Walter Hartwright is accosted by a stranger dressed from head to toe in white. She asks the way to London, and no sooner has Walter directed her than he is overtaken by a carriage in pursuit of the mysterious woman who has evidently escaped from an asylum. Ooh! From this single incident, Walter unwinds a thrilling story of abduction, madness, false identity, and a shameful family secret. The Woman in White is both a Victorian sensational novel and a detective story. It established Collins as a popular author and has never been out of print. How interesting. So that is everything that I got. A few thrillers. Oh. A few thrillers, mysteries, and then a few spooky, gothic, horror, scary stories for, oh my goodness, I'm struggling with this, for me to read over Halloween. So yeah, so that was everything that I bought, and I paid £30 for the lot because I had all the classics were £3 each, and then all the bottom 6 were in the 3 for £5 section, or they were like £2 each, but I did the 3 for £5, I did it twice. Yeah, and then along with my notebook that I paid £2 for, I got all of these. So £30, free delivery. You know the score. I never pay for delivery if I can avoid it. So yeah, that was everything, and look forward to reading these. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I shall see you in my next one, whatever that may be. Happy Halloween, folks. Happy Halloween.